It's a Dota Weekly Show!
Yay!
Hey guys, you're watching the Dota Weekly Show, a show that tells you exactly what's been happening in the Dota universe for the past week. I'm Luminous, your host of the show, and let's get right into the news. And this week, you can't talk about Dota news without talking about Gamescom. But before I get into it, I want to just tell everyone that Dota2 Beta is available for sign up. So here's a link, you can sign up. I don't know how they're going to select it, but good luck in getting that selection. But getting back into Gamescom, a little bit of last-minute team-changing virus. The French team is replacing LGD13 because LGD can't come due to visa issues, and likewise, Stars Boba can't come either due to visa issues, and they're being replaced by SGC. Now, as you know, there's a 16-team tournament, so they're going to do group stages. So the initial group stage is as follows. Group A is eHome, IG, SGC, Minsky. Group B is Nirvana Int, Tyloo, Nirvana China's Virus. Group C is MYM, M5, Rocat Trust, MUFC. Group D is Navi, Scythe SG, Nevo, and GG.net. And that's the groups. And before I get into a breakdown of all the groups and what's cool and what's not cool, I just want to remind everyone that Gamescom 2, the Dota International Tournament, the 1 million tournament, it's a purely marketing move. Like, at least that's how I personally see it. It's not one that's geared towards professional Dota or competitive Dota. I think it's just a big marketing strat, and I think it's a great one. But for competitive Dota fiends like myself, it's a little bit disappointing. First, we had 4 language streams, which was great because we got to hear English, Chinese, German, and Russian. But unfortunately, because everyone was tuning in, they had to shut down streams. The only stream at the end of the day was available was the English one. And I personally found that a little bit discouraging because sometimes I want to see what Vila's, well, I can't hear what Vila's saying, but if you understand Russian, you might want to hear what Vila's saying. I personally wanted to watch some of the Chinese streams, but I couldn't do that because of lagging issues. And the second and the most cringing thing to me is no LAN feature in the Gamescom 2 Dota, or Gamescom Dota 2. They were literally sitting 2 feet away from each other and they were lagging. And this was the biggest issue in the first game of the tournament because everyone was tuning into that. It was eHome versus IG and people were lagging left and right. And that's okay, that's okay. Everyone was tuning in the initial matches. I get it. People wanted to see, the first game of Dota 2. But the problem is, that's just the first day. During the finals, I don't know how they're going to cope with 4 streams up and having a lag-free game. I don't know if that's even possible. They might only do the English stream again. So in that matter, not having a LAN feature for competitive lag-free LAN Dota, I can't even imagine it happening. StarCraft 2 had a huge debate or a huge outcry, rage cry about that, and I think I'm having something similar. In the first LAN tournament, we're having lag. So again, this is why I believe this is not one that's geared towards professional Dota or competitive Dota, but one that's geared towards more public Dota or more marketing move. Let's look at the heroes that were being picked. As you know, Dota 2 is not completed at the moment. If it was, it would have been released by now. There's only 46 heroes available, and that definitely affected a lot of team strategy, affected a lot of teams' hero choice. There's only 46 heroes, and some of the most notable heroes that were not in the pool, such as Invoker, Brewmother, Batrider, Shadow Demon, Omni Knight, Lycan Dirge. I mean, I could just go off the list and tell you guys why these heroes are huge impacts in the game. Not having the complete hero list is, I don't know if it could be considered as top Dota. Yes, I understand Valve had limited time. Ice Frog is a busy man. But the point I'm trying to make is, again, this is a huge marketing move. And again, I think it's a great one because we're drawing so much attention to it. But I wouldn't make any competitive implications based on the games that are played here. Now, if you can't tell right now, I'm a little bit Mayo. I'm raging, I'm ranting a little bit hard. Not because the streams are lagging, not because there's only 46 heroes, but because of the bracket system and the tournament structure. I am Mayo right now. Like, okay, let's look at the bracket system right now, okay? Now, I don't know if this was the luck of the draw or it's intentional. I just want to point out that the 4 Chinese teams are bracketed off in a way that at the end of the tournaments, there's a for sure, at least no matter what happens, there's gonna be one non-Chinese team that's gonna make it to the other side of the winner bracket final. So I was like, let me think, let me do the math, let me ask Ian to do the math. He's at Harvard taking math right now, so I trust him in math. So here's what he came up with. the probability of all 4 Chinese teams are placed in the same side of the bracket is 7.7%. In other words, if the brackets were purely made by chance alone, then there's a 7.7 chance that the Chinese team will be placed on the same side of the bracket, forcing a non-Chinese team into the final no matter what. And he says, don't interpret it more than that it is. But I would wager that it was not random. And I completely agree with Ian. I personally don't think it's random either. It's very curious that MYM and Navi, both the top, the top European teams right now, are not placed in the same bracket, nor were they placed in the same bracket as the other Chinese teams. I don't know what would happen in that case. Hey, your guess is good as mine. I'm not saying that, hey, there's some sneaky thing going on, but this is just very curious in my opinion. The numbers right here, 7.7%. You guys believe what you want to believe, but I'm just presenting my view of it. So, oh, by the way, all games are best of 1 until the winner bracket final, which, again, like, generally best of 1 games, a lot of times weaker teams will have a higher chance of winning. So I don't know, who that favors, but again, you make the decision yourself. But okay, so that's kind of the whole shebang with Gamescom, and I'm gonna go into the result of day 1 in just a bit. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled and anything like that, you want to turn away now. Now I'm gonna ask you guys to tell me whether you want me to do this Dota Weekly show, at least for this week, to follow a day-to-day basis and give you guys update on the tournament, or you guys rather check out Ghost Gamer or whatever. So let me know on that. And also, I believe I will be commentating a Dota 2 game. You viewers are just like non-stop screaming at me for doing that. I think I could do it. I should be able to do it, and it should be out relatively soon. So thank you guys for being patient with me, and I will provide a commentary, hopefully to the best of my abilities. So here's the result of day 1, and this is your final chance to tune away if you're not if you don't want to get spoiled. Here's the result: eHome winning Group A with a 3-0, beating IG, who came in second place with 2-1. So both eHome and IG is gonna advance. No surprise there. IG actually getting beat out by eHome, which, whatever. eHome has been practicing together. They have so much LAN experience. They're kind of the dark horse of the tournament, and I'm happy to see that they're coming out ahead, so that's great. In Group B, that's where everyone raised their eyebrow. OK Nirvana came out of nowhere, and I say came out of nowhere, they are a very good team. They actually sent Nirvana China into the loser bracket, and they actually led the group, right? They came out with 3-0 and Tyloo with 2-1. So surprising result. In Group C, here's where things got interesting as well. MYM, M5, and Rocatras all got 2-1 records. So instead of playing tiebreakers, they broke the tie with time. So I believe MYM won the games quicker, so they get to advance. They won games quicker compared to Rocatras, so they got to advance. So MYM and M5 is going to be playing in the winner brackets, whereas MUFC and Rocatras is going to be in the loser brackets. And then Group D, Scythe FG, the team that no one is really paying too much attention is because there's really lack of replays for them, came out second. So that's a pleasant surprise for Singaporean fans. And the Navi, of course, a very strong performance, 3-0, and came ahead of their groups. So that's the result of day 1. Let's look at the winner brackets of day 2. We have eHome versus Tyloo. That's going to be a good match. MYM versus Scythe SG. That's going to be a good match as well. Nirvana Int versus IG. And Navi versus M5, which we definitely have seen in the past. The thing is, these are, again, best of 1 series. You might just have, like, let's say MYM going into the loser bracket. You might have IG going into the loser bracket right now, and I'm not too sure whether you want these teams to go into the loser bracket so early into the tournament, and that's my take for it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. The tournament is on full swing right now. Tomorrow it's gonna be open up to the public, so people is gonna be going there to see, and we'll have to see. So until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Dota Weekly Show, and until next time, as always, this is Luminous signing off. See you guys.